Today I am so excited because I am reviewing the Ohuhu markers. This is the 120 pack of the brush tip markers. I'm just so excited to open them up. Boom! There they are. On the top there is a little booklet. It says Ohuhu art markers. There is a guide on the back, I think for all the colors. Yeah, I think it's all the colors on the back, but they do also include 2 little color sheets that you can fill in yourself, which we will be doing that in a minute. Booklet also tells about their other products, gives a little illustration example. Oh, and apparently the tips are reversible. That is really good. That is really good to know. So, let's see. They give some examples for blending. It's just pictures. So I could go by this color sheet, but I think I'm gonna fill out these 2 just to get a little more realistic example of what I would be dealing with while I was drawing. I really like that they include these because, you know, sometimes the colors on the caps aren't exactly identical, and I don't know if you've ever had this happen, but I have definitely had this happen to me, where I pick a color to use and then I color on it, but it's not the exact color I was seeing on the cap, and it sort of just ruins the drawing for me. So yeah, I really like that they have these. So I'm actually going to go ahead and fill these out. I will do a time lapse of that for you. Let's scooch these over here. Now that I finished coloring in the first reference color sheet, I want to mention a couple things. First of all, my camera does not do these colors justice. These are some of the brightest marker colors I have seen. I do have Copic markers and I use them quite often, but the colors just honestly, they are not this bright. I'm gonna probably have to do a comparison video sometime. But for right now, I just wanted to add that these are some bright colors. I absolutely love these. Also, the color sheet, I noticed it's not in a complete color gradient. I don't really know what they were going for with these, but it's really nice to have a reference. I'm just thinking visually, it doesn't make the most sense because they could have possibly put some different numbers here, although I know the markers are numbered, so you have to go in order of those, but just something I noticed. So now that we're done with the first one, I'm going to go ahead and start coloring the second sheet. that the last swatch is colored, I feel like I need to address something. This guy does not really fit in this whole swatch. I don't really know what they did, but it belongs here. So I'm just thinking maybe they should have just bumped it right here. That way, I mean, the blue would have still been in here, but it's not bad. It's just that if I was looking at a swatch, you know, to choose the pink that I wanted to use, and, you know, I completely forgot that this lone little red one was thrown in there, I might actually forget it was there. Honestly, these are just beautiful. I love these colors. I just love them. They're really not as bright as they are right here where I can look at them. The camera just doesn't show them as bright for some reason. They did this with my highlighter review that I did a while back. They wouldn't show the full bright colors, but you know, that's okay. So now that I have the color swatches all colored in, I'm going to bring out my sketchbook and color a few examples, and test out the blending and a few things like that. Okay, so here's my sketchbook, and I'm going to go ahead and test out some blending. I'm going to grab a couple browns and do some little hair pieces. Blending is some of the best ways to tell how good your marker is. So I'm gonna do another strand of hair, because honestly, these are easy and they're really fun. These are really fun to do. There we go. Yeah, it's really simple, but it works. Oof. I'm gonna start with, oh wow, okay, yeah, this is a lot darker than the cap portrays. Anyway, it works out. Go with some upward strokes. There we go. Actually looks pretty good. I'm gonna go over all of it with the light once more. Okay, that actually looks really good. So far, I'm very happy with these. Oops. I completely used the wrong marker. Let's try to redeem that a little bit. Let's do the end. And there we go. Wow. These really match the Copic markers as far as blending and performance, at least right now. I mean, I think the one reason a lot of people really love Copics are really because you can buy refills. As with these, you cannot, so you just have to buy another pack. So I do get why a lot of people go for Copics, and I do really like Copics. I have a pack of Copics, but honestly, I am really loving these. These are really nice. As far as blending goes and color, these I think these are brighter than Copics. Copics do have some very vibrant colors, but I think the Ohuhus are just a tad bit brighter. And also, I forgot to mention, they smell like Sharpies. They smell just like Sharpies. So if you, for some reason, like the smell of Sharpies, like I do, I know some people either like the smell of Sharpies or they don't. But if you were like me and you like the smell of Sharpies, then smelling these, you will not feel sick. Like, I know some markers, not Copics, but some other markers are kind of stinky and can make me feel sick when I smell them. So, you know, that's not very good, but these will not give you that. That I can guarantee if you can either handle or like the smell of Sharpies. Gonna do a few more highlighting tests. Do the front of hair. blend it with this. I think that's another big key. If you have a lighter undercolor that you're using for hair, I recommend going over both only once, because if you keep going over them, it'll just make this color darker, so it's not gonna show up as much as a highlight. But I do recommend going once over with a lighter color over all of it, just to blend all of it together. Let's do another color, because I do brown a lot, but you can really do it with anything. So if you were doing a piece of clothing, let me think. I guess maybe a sleeve. I mean, the highlighting is going to be different, but it blends really well. And you know, you go once over with your lighter color. You can go once more over this just to, wow. Okay, that looks really good. And you could go over it a couple times to really pull the colors over. But honestly, this is really good. I am really, really impressed. And if you are having trouble with gradients, most likely it's because you're using the wrong colors. If you have too dark and too light of a color that are even not the exact same color, like I could do a pink and yellow, and if one is really dark, it's probably going to be hard to get a good gradient. Let me actually try that. Let me get a yellow. Most likely it's going to work the best if you have two lighter colors as gradients and then two darkers together, because a lighter and darker of different colors might be kind of hard to work with, although, you know, you might be a master at that. So I keep getting marker on my hands. Okay, let's try this, because honestly I feel like it's gonna work, but I could be wrong. I don't know. So it's not blending as smoothly as, you know, right here, but it's not bad. I think if you were wanting to do something like this, it's okay for clothes, kind of like a sort of tie-dye ombre look, but for really smooth transitions over to the color, you're just going to want to use the same color for it. Like pink with pink, orange with orange. Woo! I'm going to try just random patterns, maybe polka dots or something. Because, I mean, these colors look like they blend pretty well together. Ooh, goodness. It's a lot darker than the cap. That is why I'm really glad they're the color swatches. Okay, why does that remind me of bubble tea? That really reminds me of bubble tea. And now I'm hungry. So if you want to blend something like that, and the cool thing is you can go over with the same one color and make a gradient. But obviously that could cause some bleed through. Now these do bleed through this paper, so they actually give you a clear sheet in, I believe, each box of Ohuhus. I don't think the number matters. I'm pretty sure each package comes with a clear sheet that is basically a page protector. You put it behind your page. So one more time, for an example, if you just want to make a gradient with one marker, you can keep going over one area. This is actually what I do for Brinley's glasses. I'll usually do the same thing. So I'll do one light coat, and then if I want the end to kind of fade into darker as it's drying, I just stroke on a couple more layers of this, and then you get that kind of lens look, honestly. And if you want a little highlight or lighter area, you could go over with your colorless blender or one of those jelly rolls. I use a white jelly roll pen usually, because honestly these colorless blenders, I would not suggest using them for blending, because see, as you go over it, it just removes the ink, which is actually a really good thing if you want something like this with shine on it. That actually looks really good. But if you wanted to blend colors, say like here, and you went over it, I have noticed that as you go over several times, it almost makes it look splotchy. It kind of slowly happens, but it picks up more of the roughness of the paper you're on, and it shows through. So if you're going to use a colorless blender for blending stuff like this, you can if you have found a way to make it work, but as far as I know, I haven't found a way, so I just use a lighter color of whatever color I'm using to blend. I've noticed that these Ohuhu tips are harder and the Copic marker tips are softer. The plus of having harder tips is if you're trying to get into different areas of, your drawing, it may not smudge as much ink in that area, and if you do use it, it tends to pick up the ink that you color over. See, there's pink on the tip. So before you go on to something else, I suggest getting a sheet of paper and just rubbing it on there to get that pink off, or whatever color that's on there. But yeah, this can be really handy if you're wanting to make some little shines like that. That is it for this marker review. I hope it helped you. If you want to know anything else about these wonderful markers, let me know in the comments. And if you would like a Copic marker versus Ohuhu marker video, I would be glad to make that as well. These markers, already I can tell I am really going to enjoy using these. I love that they give you the guide sheets that you can, that you don't have to go by the cap, because sometimes they can be just a little deceiving. So I really love that aspect of the Ohuhu markers. Thank you so much for watching. You have a beautiful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!